Oh my gosh, I look really tired and I actually slept really well. It's just, I think these last weeks are taking a toll on me. Hello guys, and welcome to the first clip of the vlog for King of Scars by Lee Bardugo. So if you guys have been on my channel recently, you have seen that I've posted my Six of Crows vlog and Crooked Kingdom vlog for my first time reading it, and now it's my first time reading King of Scars. So I am so in love with Grishaverse. I am so happy that I have this hardback copy of King of Scars, and actually I'm going to undress him because this is how I like to read when I'm at home. So I'm only going to use this if I have to commute with the book somewhere, so I protect these beautiful, oh god, this is such a beautiful naked hardback. It's probably the most beautiful naked hardback that I have. And so basically I just wanted to tell you that I have just finished Crooked Kingdom and I have just started King of Scars because I could not wait. And to know that I will probably have to wait a year or something for the second book on this duology is killing me already, because I read the entirety of the Grishaverse so fast and pretty much all together with each other. I just stopped in April because of the Owls Readathon, that now I am going to miss this world so much. So, where am I? I am currently on page 30, 30, which is only this little bit. This is smaller than Crooked Kingdom. It's only 511 pages. So I cannot wait. If I've read Crooked Kingdom in shortly 3 days or something, and I wasn't reading the entirety of the days, so it's less than 3 days if we count the entirety of the days, I'm probably going to read this one faster. I hope, I don't know. And because of that, I am very excited. I read already 30 pages and I'm going to have to go to work this weekend, and commuting to work, I'm going to try and read a little bit more. So probably by the end of the weekend, I hope that I have achieved at least 100 and something pages. We will see, because normally I work really late shifts, so I get home pretty tired. I wake up really early to go to the gym and I sleep like 5 hours or less on the weekends, so I don't know if I can read a lot, but yeah, so I just wanted to introduce you to where we are right now. So obviously this video is going to have spoilers. I hope that I made the same disclaimer in all of the videos, but if not, sorry about that. So if you have not read anything of the Grisha trilogy, I might mention because of the characters that appear in here, and if you have not read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, I am for sure going to definitely mention them because I have just came from reading it, and so it's going to have a new impact on this reading vlog. And basically, how are the characters right now? So the first part of this, we find out that Nikolai is transforming into the sort of Volcor form that he transformed, that the Darkling caused him to transform to. So pretty much now, if he's not chained into his bed or has a powerful sedative to actually sleep, he changes into a Volcor in his sleep, and he goes and he eats animals. That I know of, or that the characters know of, he has not attacked any human being yet. But it's getting pretty terrible. It's getting spaced in less than a week, and it's really bad. Zoya basically is already in here, and Zoya works as, so she's a leader of the summoners, but she works as the one that goes to get Nikolai when he gets his fits, his sort of thingies. And there appears to be a relationship forming in here. I don't know if it's going to be romantic or not. I wouldn't mind, to be honest, but at the same time, I don't know if I want that already, because both of those two characters, Nikolai and Zoya, I don't see them, like, I can see their fragilities and how that would make them a good match together, but at the same time, and their strengths as well, but at the same time, I don't know their dynamics fully to actually be in love with that ship. So I'm just going to continue reading, and for now, I'm not really shipping it, but at the same time, I am not out of it, so we will see. And for now, we've also known that Nina, like, I'm in a Nina chapter right now. I stopped in halfway because I had to clean the house. But basically, we know that Nina is in Fjorda, which, why the fuck, bitch? And she's there to nobody knows because I still haven't get to why she's there. Basically, by the end of Crooked Kingdom, when Matthias died, he told her, like, go and there's got to be a Fjorden worth saving. Go and tell those people that they are wrong about the Grisha and that they are wrong about everything that they've been led to believe. And she said yes, and she supposedly went to Fjorda to bury him and to change their mind. But is it what she's doing? Or because supposedly it says here, I think, that she was sent by Nikolai as well. Ailing Arbor. Nina had never been there. Until she had arrived 2 months ago on orders from King Nikolai. Yeah, she's been sent for some reason. So I don't know what she's doing. She has her own private mission and I want to find out. So this is how we are, and this clip is already too long for this kind of update. And yeah, so I'm going to leave you, and by the next time that I appear, I hope that I have read at least more than 50 pages, but we will see. So yeah, bye-bye. So everyone is turning evil or doing shit, and I cannot. Okay, so I'm updating you guys again. I am currently on page 130 of King of Scars, and it is the start of a Nina chapter, and I don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to bury Matthias or not, because fucking hell, are they taking long burying Matthias? But probably yes, I think. We have been setting up for this. I forgot to tell you what I know about King of Scars. I know that, obviously spoilers, people, obviously, but I know that the Darkling is alive somehow, or is a presence in this book, because sadly I was watching a video and I saw it had spoilers, so I stopped watching it. But in the same moment I went on Twitter to comment on something else that a person that I knew had posted, and someone was just posting, like, it was just on my feed. I never thought about blanking spoilers for the Grishaverse because it never occurred to me, and it was there like, oh my god, the Darkling is alive, and I was like, what? Okay, so I don't know how it happens, but since I've read until page 130, I suspect it has something to do with the cult that is coming and Nikolai's monster, because 130 is the page, the end of a Zoya chapter, where Nikolai breaks free from his chains, and he is really hungry, like the monster in him is really hungry, and he tries and attacks Zoya. And the monster speaks and says Zoya, and the voice that she hears, like, she never says it's the Darkling, but she describes the voice as being the voice described by Alina to describe the Darkling in the Grisha trilogy, if you know what I mean. And obviously, since I know that he's coming back, I associated the situations, because if not, I would maybe, I don't know if I would have associated it, to be honest, but I did, and I feel like his coming back will have to do with Nikolai, which is a bit sad, because now I'm wondering, like, Nikolai cannot die, at least not in this book, because supposedly there's a second book coming out. I'm sorry, I have a lot of sprouts on my face, and it's getting annoying. So as I was saying, Nikolai cannot die in this book because this is supposed to be the Nikolai duology, and there's one book left. But can he be transformed in the Darkling slave? Like, I have no idea how the Darkling is coming back for real. I'm reading the book to find out, obviously. But sorry about that. But as I was saying, this is really terrible, everything that's happening. Like, Ravka is in a really bad situation. They have no money. They have a lot of countries trying to break war with them. They are trying to make alliances with everyone, and this will not stand, you know. Things are not going to work out, and they are still trying to save Grisha from Fjorda, which Nina is there now. There's a fabric where supposedly they've been killing women and children and females, you know. And I don't know. I have to say that I really love Nina's power. The fact that she's now sort of a necromancer kind of witchy thing is absolutely amazing. If you don't know, the first thing about me is one of the things that I love the most, and I don't know if I said this already, is blood magic, necromance magic, and all of that. So I'm loving this. So yeah, I don't know what happened more. So I don't know if they're trying to make a Zoya Nikolai thing. I still don't know. But we are slowly learning that Zoya's past is not as great as everyone thought. Obviously, it's not because everyone has a broken past in this fucking verse. But apparently, her parents tried to marry her off when she was 9 years old. And I was like, what? Nine? What? I mean, I know this happens in some regions in real life. And I hate it and I wish I could do something about it. And some people are already doing stuff about it. So that's great. But I was just trying to process why the fuck would they do that? Why the fuck would they do that? I cannot. And something terrible happened in the day that she was supposed to get married and when she was supposed to have her wedding night, of course. So probably that's when she found her powers and she did something to the old man that tried to wed her. I don't know. I want to find out more about Zoya's past because I like it how she's not as perfect as she seems to be and how her retorts and her like sarcasm is a weapon. And I like her dynamic with Nikolai, but I don't know if I feel the ship, you know? So I will continue reading and I will see. I also want that Nina buries Matthias because please bury him because she's transporting his body all over Fjorda and it's kind of getting creepy. And she hears his voice. That's not very healthy. And I can't understand if it's connected with her power, like if she can hear everyone that died's voices, or if she's just going crazy with grief. I don't know. I don't know. Or if she just talks to him in her head, like the way that we sometimes speak with loved ones that we lost, or when we think like, what would our dad do, or what would our mother do, or stuff like that. I don't know, but I'm enjoying King of Scars, but I have to admit that this beginning was not as interesting as Six of Crows, definitely, and it was not as interesting as Shadow and Bone as well. So I don't know. We will see. Okay, so hi. Welcome to another update. I'm not sleeping. I'm also not dying, but I'm on one of those days, where I'm just feeling every pain in every part of my body. And it's not... Oh, okay. As I was saying, it's not pleasant. Okay. Here we go. So, I just wanted to update you a little bit more on King of Scars. I am currently on page... Where am I? 260, which is already part 2 of the thing. So, The Witch in the Wood. And I have I have thought about this book really deeply. I have. But I have something that I need to say first, which is I am at the part where... Those are my feet. Hi. I'm at the part where Nikolai and Zoya got to the fold and somehow, I don't know how, they basically got into this place where there's a palace and there's just sand and there's no one there, like another dimension, if you will. And there's creatures coming to get them. And you would suspect that that's the place where the Darkling is living because you all fucking know that the Darkling is going to come back. But I'm sorry, I have to say this. I love the Grisha trilogy. I absolutely adored for my life the Six of Crows duology. But this book is now really getting below them. I am enjoying it, but it has so many issues with it. Like, what the fuck is a new dimension doing in the fold? Like, I know that the Darkling is supposed to not be dead, and I like the idea that the ritual that Nikolai was going to perform would have something to do with him coming back, because that's what you
would think. But now there's another dimension inside of the fucking fold, and I haven't finished the Nikolai chapter where they are fighting against the creatures that are coming. But I have no idea how this is going to finish, and if the Darkling just appears there and goes like, "Hello, I'm alive." Excuse me? What? This is not the Twilight Zone, people. This is not the X-Files. This is the Grishaverse. What are you doing? I don't know. This was a little bit. Why though? I mean, I can suspend my disbelief, but I cannot enjoy doing it, if you know what I mean. I just. I don't know. Another thing that I have to talk about is that at least this book tackles grief in a nice way. Like when we have Nina bearing Matthias and she understands that the voice that she's been supposedly hearing, that you thought it was Matthias talking to her because she hears the dead apparently, it's not. She's actually being faking that voice. It's just her talking to herself because she could not deal with the fact that she was not listening to Matthias actually. That was pretty heartbreaking. Not as heartbreaking as when he died in her arms, but it was pretty sad. I was like, "Oh, girl, ooh, I'm sorry about that. That was rough. That was rough." But now she has a new friend, and I'm like, weren't you supposed to be? I don't know. It felt like I don't want to be that bitch that wants characters to keep on suffering for someone they have lost, but it felt to me that grief was really fast, if you know what I mean. But probably that's because we haven't seen her in Ravka grieving. We've only seen her from Crooked Kingdom now passing to her mission. And I appreciate all of the little things that this book has given us from the Grisha trilogy, and all of the hints that it's giving us also from the Six of Crows when it mentions the team and Kaz Brecker, and when it mentions Alina, and when it mentions. I love that they are showing us Zoya's past because I'm getting way more interesting in her than I was in the official Grisha trilogy. Nikolai's past was interesting as well, like why he's actually a man of the people and why he did all the things that he did and why he is the way it is very interesting as well. And I'm kind of enjoying again the dynamic between him and Zoya. Although I still don't know if I ship that. I enjoy that dynamic, but I don't know. There's angst there and I like the angst because obviously I just want to cry in my life. But I don't know how I feel about that. So still don't know. But everything else is just so Twilight Zone, you know what I mean? And it's not supposed to be. It's just new dimension. Are we reading fantasy or are we reading sci-fi? Because the Darkling having a known dimension for itself is so strange. Okay, so currently this ranks the lowest on my Grishaverse reading. For sure, the Six of Crows duology is first, then the Grisha trilogy, and then this one, which is kind of disappointing because I thought that Lee Bardugo's writing would exponentially get better, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I still haven't. I'm only at 260 pages. It says 511 pages. So there's still time for this to actually become one of my favorites, but we will see. I feel like there's a lot of plot points that are left open and are not working correctly, but at the same time, that's how it is supposed to be because our characters don't know things and we are seeing from their perspectives. Again, I enjoy that we are seeing from more than one perspective, as we were in the Six of Crows duology. I like that the Grish trilogy was from Alina's perspective only, but it can be tiresome, I admit that, and so I like these perspectives. I wanted to talk about something with you guys. I don't know how you feel about this, and I hope that you're hearing me right because I'm a little bit thingy on my nose. But I wanted to talk to you about the fact that I think that Nikolai struggles with his monster, like the Volcra thingy, have a little bit to do with mental health. I mean, I don't know. I have never saw a tweet from Lee Bardugo saying this, and this is like my own interpretation. But as I was reading it, If you guys don't know, okay, time to get real. I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder. I think that I've said this another video, I'm not sure, but here it is. And sometimes it gets unbearable. Sometimes it's exactly like I have a shadow inside of me, like a sort of monster. And when Nikolai is sort of battling the shadow and says that he has no control over it, and he is controlled in the middle of the night, and he does not understand it. Sometimes when my anxiety disorder gets too much, I have panic attacks, really strong ones. I remember that sometimes I had so much anxiety that I would throw up. And I could not, for the life of me, the attitudes and the actions that I had, which were never very, how do I say this? They were never very sane to begin with, but they were never very fully developed. So I would start doing something and then I would just sit in the corner and cry and scream, basically. But those actions were not completely controlled by my conscious self. So, and they still aren't when I get those on that precise state. So when he says that he cannot control it and that the monster seems like he wants to do something, that he doesn't know what it is and he's not conscious of the monster, that's sort of like how I feel with having this mental situation, this mental illness, because I feel like I don't control when I will snap out of it, and I won't control when I will get into it. And that's one of the things that scares me about all of this situation is, and so I was identifying with Nikolai. That's what I wanted to say. Although, obviously, this is not about mental illness, but it could be a metaphor for that because I have heard a lot of people talking about this, and I know my own experience, and I know that most of the people do not have control of when they're going to have a panic attack, of course, and they not have control of when they're going to overreact because of their anxiety disorders. And sometimes I start a discourse, and I get anxiety, and when I hear myself, I am not saying either of the things that I actually wanted to say when I started talking about the thing, and it's like something got over me and just talked through my mouth, and I'm like, why are you saying this? Stop, you're spiraling out of control. Stop, shut the fuck up. And you can't. And that's the same thing. The only difference is that Nikolai does not remember what he did when he's possessed by the monster. I remember everything that I said pretty much, unless I'm really in a deep panic attack and I don't even know what I'm doing and I'm just crying and screaming. But I pretty much remember everything that I said or did, except that I'm seeing it as if it's not me, but I'm suffering at the same time. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't if you've never suffered from anxiety disorder, but that's how it feels. And it's so strange, It's just, I really identified with that. And I think that's one of the points that I have to give to this book, because obviously the story's not about that, but it could be. So, the fight that always goes inside of yourself. Everyone has their fights. So yeah, I just wanted to, wow, this got deep all of a sudden, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to talk to you about that, especially because I've been having a rough set of weeks in terms of mental health, and I have been losing myself a little bit. So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this and how this particular struggle in this book is actually kind of helping me cope with the fact that sometimes I don't have control. And that's okay. Like, this is one of the main problems and one of the main reasons why I have anxiety is the fact that I don't have control over everything that I do. And I think it's important that you understand that it's not your fault and that you're not supposed to have control over everything in your entire life. So yeah, obviously I would really like if I did not have anxiety, but that's not the situation, so I just have to live with it. And yeah, so now this turned into a pity party, so that's not what I wanted. What I wanted to say is I'm going to possibly today, I feel like, try to read until page 300 and something, I believe, at least finish this Nikolai chapter, which is, oh, it's only 5 pages more. Okay, of course I'm going to read more of this. And next, which chapter is next? I do this. I'm sorry about that. So next we have Isaac. What the fuck? What the fuck? Isaac. I don't remember that dude. I should. Shouldn't I? But I don't know. But I have heard people complaining that this book had not a lot of Nikolai in it. And I'm like, I've read 260 pages and there's only be 3 plot points, Nina, Zoya, and Nikolai. And there is Nikolai in this. So I don't know why are these people complaining. Only if it disappears for the rest of the book. But I mean, is that possible? I don't know. There's a new dimension in the sand. So everything is possible. Am I right? I don't know. Bye-bye. Are you fucking trying to tell me that the saints are all alive? I mean, I know that Alina is alive, but all of the saints? And they live in a dimension in the fold? What? What? And why the fuck did fucker juries or whatever decided he was going to fuck up Zoya's amplifier? That's just mean. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. I hate him. This is the worst thing I have ever read in my life. I am on page 298 and I just finished a Nina chapter and I want to cry with rage. There's this factory where they are holding Grisha girls, getting them pregnant to dose them with the drug, and hence dosing the babies with drug as well to make them slaves. And it's completely disgusting. It is filling me with hate, and if I were Nina, I would have killed every single last person that was in that factory. Because this is disgusting. I cannot. I have a master's in psychology of deviant behavior and justice, and I have seen firsthand what drugs do to someone. So this is not fun. This is incredibly triggering. This is terrible. I have never used, of course, but I have seen my teachers approach people that did use, and I have seen some videos of the situation, and I have the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge of what this does to someone. And dosing these girls and promising them more if they would get pregnant, so that her Grisha babies would be perfect Grisha slaves because they would be born with the drug in their system and they would still want a drug. Who would do this? This is disgusting. And the fact that the people that are dosing them and helping the situation going around are girls, it's disgusting. How can they do this to each other? I was prepared to believe the best. Hey, hello. I was prepared to believe the best of Fjordans because Matthias, but I can't. They're just so terrible. All of them. Ugh. Okay, so update. I am actually on page 416, so less than 100 pages to go. And basically everything is sort of a mess right now. So Zoya is training with St. Juris in order to be able to summon all of the elements, which is pretty badass, by the way, but it's sort of strange. And Nikolai is training to call up his monster to defeat him. Again, this sounds like mental illness sort of struggles, as I said in my previous clip, or I think I said. But I identify with that, but at the same time it's getting weird. And the dynamic between Nikolai and Zoya, I get it because we had a lot of backstory from Zoya's point of view, so we know what happens when she was sold to be married, and
when her aunt died with the Novocabrisk incident of the Darkling and everything. So we see why she wears that mask of being in control and in power all of the time. But at the same time, like, I really enjoy that backstory. I love backstories, but I feel like it's not as strong as the Six of Crows duology's backstories, which, okay, you can't, because that was the prime of backstories, of tragic backstories. But at the same time, I understand why Nikolai and her are having that dynamic, that relationship, because they both wear their masks and their the way of like not being the person that they are supposed to be, because it grants them power and it grants them like they will be okay with that if they are less than, they use that as a disguise basically to just live. She uses it as a disguise to gain power and to be respected, and he uses it for the same reason, and that's why they are identifying so much. I really love this part right here. Let me see if I can find it, where Nikolai is saying like, tomorrow I'm going to face my monster, and he's talking with Zoya, and he gives Zoya a sealed letter where in there he states her as the one that is supposed to rule over Ravka when if he dies or if he's disappeared, until a new ruler that is good enough can be found. And in the end of this chapter, he says in that moment he wished things might have been different, that he might not die tomorrow, that he could be led by his heart instead of duty, because Zoya was not kind and she was not easy, but she was already a queen. And I was like, do I ship this? I don't know, but it's getting real. But it was so important because of what he says. Like, he says she was not kind and she was not easy, but she cared for the people. She cared for the realm. She cared about good things being brought into perspective. And that is the making of a queen. And he loves her for it. And I was like, okay, I like that. But I still am not sure if I ship that. I don't know. It's all happening so fast, and sorry. It's all happening so fast, and I don't see. I don't know. Gosh damn it. But I'm waiting. Okay, I'm waiting for all of this to go wrong and the Darkling to come back, so. Yeah. We will see how these. Well, it's not even 100 pages, but whatever. Let's see how these last 100 pages go. But right now, it has to be the Six of Crows duology, the Grisha trilogy, and then this book, for sure. It's not as good as the others, which is sort of problematic, because you would feel like Lee Bardugo's writing would improve, and her character's development would not go backwards after Six of Crows. So I don't know what happened there, but we will see if this last 100 pages changed something. Of course, Yuri was used to bring the Darkling back, because what else was his character doing in this book? Of course. I have to say it was a little bit undermining. I finished King of Scars. I did enjoy how the last line of the book was a Darkling line, because I had to say that I missed him. How was it? It was so many of my old friends gathered in one place. It's good to be home. He is really as fun as Nikolai, but way more ruthless than him. I really will like to see their dynamic together in the next book. But King of Scars, I get where people are saying it's a really underwhelming book, especially after you have read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I really enjoy the Nina parts, because I was not seeing how she was going to get all of those girls away from the factory and all of the problems that they were getting into while trying to take the girls away. So I was not seeing how they were going to manage that, but they did, and it has to do with what she learned from the dregs. So I really enjoy that. It was sort of like a heist. And now she's inside the ice court against Brown, I never know how to say his name, I don't care. Against the creepy Druskel dude that everyone hates. So that part is going to be very, very fun. the part of Nikolai having a shoe bride, shoe, sorry, whilst preparing for war. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the second one will be more fast-paced, more action-based, and that I will probably like it more. There's going to be a war, there's going to be the Nina's plans and everything like that, so I hope I enjoyed. But for now, King of Scars is the book from the Grishaverse that I like the least. The dynamics between the characters were not amazing. The end of the book, the cliffhanger, and the way that they found out that the shoe princess wasn't a shoe princess but was one of the guards, and how they changed who they were. That was interesting. Nina's plans were also interesting because I wasn't seeing how she's going to make it out of the thing, but the rest of it was a little bit, it wasn't boring, but it was a little bit boring. So I'm really glad that I didn't buy this and that I won it in a giveaway. But I will probably get the second one. I think the second one is going to be released in next year, May, maybe? I don't know. But I will get it and I will read it because I want to know how this will end. And yeah, I am excited for it, but not as I was when I finished the other books and I was excited to read the next. So yeah, it was an enjoyable read, but it wasn't the best Grishaverse read, which is kind of sad because when you peak at Six of Crows and then you go down again, it's sort of, I cannot trust what is coming after this. But there will be the Darkland, there will be Nikolai, there will be Zoya and Genya and Nina and everything, so it might be great. We will see. But yeah, so that's going to be my ending of the vlog for the Grishaverse King of Scars. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have felt undermined by King of Scars as I did, just tell me so in the comments down below. If you loved it, tell me also why. I would love to know. And thank you for staying this long with me in this vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe. And that's going to be it for this vlog. Thank you!